Hello everybody and welcome to another video on TF2 trading. Now today, not too long ago, I found a very good guide that I should explain to you guys. Not made by me, made by someone pretty Princess Kitty Flutter Slut. Oh, never mind. So this guide is on the rising key price myth explained. Now, as as read here, there's been a lot of misinformation floating around about key prices and are rising out of control after hitting 11 refined. This guide aims to explain what is exactly happening in TF2 comedy with regards to keys and why it was going to happen regardless. The purpose of this guide, don't need to go over that. The basic idea is supply and demand. There's high supplies of items, then buyers of that item have lots of choice. They aren't stuck with the few sellers. As such, sellers will complete to sell the most items by lowering their price so they are lower than their competitors. If there is low supply, then buyers are more restricted. They cannot shop around so much. Sellers do not need to compete so much. One guy who is likely to sell very cheaply to sell very fast is less likely to be in this market. So in high demand, if there is high demand, then it's the opposite. Buyers have to compete with each other. Sellers can choose to buy paying the highest price. They can shop around equally. Low demand means not many people are buying an item. A seller is more likely to take what they can get, even if it's lower than they'd like or they cannot sell, and maybe need to wait a time longer for a new buyer. The bottom line is high supply or a low demand will decrease an item's price, whereas a high demand or a low supply will increase the item's price. If an item is in high supply and high demand, for instance earbuds, the price may fluctuate on other factors. So people are greedy. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. People like convenience and will pay for it. I can go buy a key right now, or I can spend 15 minutes looking for a person to sell me the same key for 5 cents less. Did I do good? Yes, I have 5 more cents now. However, I've lost 15 minutes. Was that 15 minutes worth 5 cents? No, probably not. As such, most people would choose the first option. This is the main reason that keys sell for more than the market price. People are paying a little bit over what they could be paying and to save some time. This is different from the community market. It's the same amount of work to pay $10 for an item that is to pay $9.90. So why pay more? So why are key prices going up so much? This is what we've came here for. Let's get them one major misunderstanding out of the way. The price of one key is totally stable in its own terms. The price of a key relative to refined metal is going up. Valve sells keys for $250, which everyone should know by now. They've been selling them like this for a long time and probably will not be changed ever. So the only way keys can enter the system is through a price of $2.50. That's pretty self-explanatory. I shouldn't be going over this small portion, but you know, it's what this guy is saying, so I'm gonna read it out for you guys, because not usually many people go look at guides these days, which is really stupid. So every key at the same point during its life was bought for $250, except self-made keys, which are extremely special, and we only care about regular keys right now, guys. We don't need no special keys that are self-made. Who needs those? Extremely expensive, really collector's item. So anyways, let's say user A buys a key to trade for a hat they want. That hat could be worth a bit under $250, say $2.40, but rather than spend a long time to find it cheaper, a user just pays one key, which a lot of people do. I don't know why they do that. They could, spend a little bit of time, look for it, They find it cheaper, user A just pays one key. They sold it for about $2.50 with a little difference for convenience in buying what they like. Let's call it X in this case. X is 10 cents. Every key is worth $2.50. For some little x, this says that keys are roughly always around the same price, so much that they may as well be the same price. Nobody will buy a key for just sell it for $1. That's true. Nobody does that. That's getting ripped off in profit, so it really sucks. Anyways, let's get back to the point. Now let's consider refined. There's no reason refined should be fixed at one price. Valve does not sell ref. In fact, more and more refined is created from weapon drops and hat drops, so our supply of ref goes up every day. The demand for ref, however, stays the same. So by the fact at the start, ref should decrease in price, and it does. Take 3 years ago. That was when trading was in its prime. Everything was hella expensive in money reasons, but keys were only worth 2 to 2.33 refined. Golden age of trading. You should have been there. If you weren't, that sucks. As such, refined would be worth about $1 each, which is very true. And this is very true. Let's say there were 1 million pieces of refined metal then, which I doubt there were, but there should be a lot more. Now fast forward to today. That's 3 years worth of players collecting weapon drops and crafting a few hats, but not nearly as many. We might have 5 million ref right now. Yeah, maybe more, give or take. That's 5 times the supply and likely a similar level of demand. Keys are now about 11 ref. That means refined is worth about 20 cents. Yeah, the market is about to is crumbling. Hopefully Valve will fix it by making ref a set price. Some ways to do that was taught in another guide that I read not too long ago, and it stated that if they just made a crafting recipe to refined into TOD tickets, there'll be a set price. Then keys will not fluctuate as much. Like 4 refined equals a TLD ticket. But anyways, back to the point. The numbers are completely made up. I don't have figures to hand, but the idea is the same. We do have a lot more refined, and we can see that refined metal has dropped in a lot in value as well. So what's the value of a key? One key. A key will always be worth 1 key. As it is a fixed value, it can never be anything other than 1 key. So what's the value of refined? It's entirely dependent on some fixed value, or our only fixed value is a key. So we need to think about refined prices in other terms rather than key prices in terms of refined. Now when we look at it, we can see that 3 years ago ref was only about half a key. Now a ref worth 1/11 of a key. Sum it up for me. Keys are worth the same and will always be worth the same. Refined is becoming more common and its value is dropping. Looking at its rising key price, it's actually refined prices are dropping. Makes sense now. There are only few reasons for people to prefer refined over keys, so demand for keys is higher. So, we can't do anything about this. This is something that Valve has to do for us, which would be great if they fixed it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's just this explained by Pretty Princess Kitty, Flutter, whatever. Sorry if I butchered your name. I doubt I did though, because that should be the pronunciation. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day. You're welcome.